Hello everyone. As you probably know, my name is Josipa. I'm one of the co-founders at Revuto, and today we'll be talking a bit about our marketing and PR, but also positioning of Revuto. So one of the common questions that we see in the Telegram group, on our YouTube comments is, what are Revuto's plan for marketing in the future, and in general, what can we expect from the marketing department? And the answer is a couple of different things, but let's start by addressing the marketing question first. The primary metric in marketing, which we'll be aiming at, is actually user acquisition. So all of our marketing efforts will ideally result with converting more users and growing our user base. Our user base currently has 350,000 consumers worldwide. We also have more than 60,000 wallets created, and the primary objective of most of our marketing efforts is really just to grow our user acquisition numbers. The second aspect that we are building and working on is working on promotion and public relations. And in terms of promotion and public relations, what we really want to do is to position Revuto as a promising but also very exciting project in the crypto and especially the Cardano space. And in this field, what we're really aiming at is doing thought leadership pieces, doing PR pieces, and also just making sure that the trade media or the media that is following crypto, fintech, and related topics is writing about the things that we're doing at Revuto. This includes things like our staking center, our staking pools, all of the different updates that we've been having, but also all of the different updates that we will have by the end of this quarter and this year in general. So if we talk about what are the primary activities with user acquisition, for user acquisition, it's all about our referral program and also ads and advertising in general. The goal here is to make sure that all of these consumers really download our mobile app and activate and create an account, also ideally to create a wallet. So these are the metrics based on which we will address and make sure that our marketing efforts are met. A significantly bigger budget will be allocated towards user acquisition than to promotion and PR. And this will primarily be of essential interest once our virtual debit card feature will go live, primarily in the UK market and later on in the rest of Europe. For promo and PR, our main objective here is to make sure that we're really considered a leader and that we can ensure interesting partnerships, and we can also make sure that the community is very well aware of what we're doing. A part of our promo and PR activities is also everything we'll be doing with IOHK. You've probably seen us on Cardano 360s, but also on IOHK's Twitter, where they have been tweeting about all of our updates ever since we did our ICO to listing on centralized exchanges, all the way up until our new staking center activities. Regarding positioning, this is a really interesting one because, as you probably know by now, we have both a crypto and a fintech element. What's really interesting about this is that we will have consumers that do not know anything about crypto. These are primarily consumers, millennials and Gen Z consumers, that simply want to manage the seasonality of their prepaid digital subscription services. And for them, the primary goal is they just want to have a virtual debit card and everything in the same place so that they are perfectly fine and have peace of mind that they don't have to pay Netflix on the month where they don't plan to watch any Netflix movies. And for them, it's really important that we don't overburden them with the crypto message. So if you go to our main website, Revuto.com, you'll probably notice that there's not a lot of crypto content on it. And the primary reason for that is that we still want to attract the mainstream market for subscription management. And this is not a market of crypto fans. This is a market of people who only want to manage their subscription services. And this is why we have a fintech element. So On the back of that, you'll notice that we have a Revuto.com website, which doesn't have a lot of crypto elements. You'll be also noticing that we'll have some ads and promotional activities that don't involve the crypto element as much. And the reason for this is that we want to make sure we're building and creating a simple, easy to understand consumer brand. The second element is the crypto element, and this is where you can notice, and you probably noticed, that we have a crypto.revuto.com website. And the primary purpose of that website is really to communicate all of the crypto offerings and everything we've been doing in the crypto space. Right now, you can see that most of these activities that we've just addressed were primarily pushing in the direction of the crypto market. So we've been very busy making sure our ICO went right, making sure we deliver everything on our roadmap. But what's really interesting is the second piece of the puzzle, which is building a consumer brand. For building a consumer brand, what we'll have to do is really to take a step back and to simplify both the messaging and the positioning of our app. And what that will mean is that there will be a slight turn in communication of our application and of our solution, where we'll try to make sure we're doing everything needed to make sure that we address the mainstream market. Now, the easiest way to understand what we'll be doing here is to take a look at what have the neobanks done so far. So if we're talking about neobanks, we are talking about companies like Revolut, Monzo, Majić, and similar ones. And the main thing that you'll notice there is how simple and easy the communication strategy is. So the strategy is really to communicate a better, faster, simplified bank, a really easy user experience, a really catchy marketing campaign. But what you'll notice is that these neobanks rarely communicate some of these more complex features. So Revolut will communicate information such as make sure you always have peace of mind, make sure you can create a virtual debit card, put some money on it, and then book a flight with a not so trustworthy carrier, and you don't have to worry about it. What they don't do is they don't communicate everything that's happening on the back end, and the reason why is because they need to build a consumer brand. So as a result of all of this, you probably heard us mentioning before that what we really want to build is a Web3 product with a Web2 user experience. And what that relates to in Revuto's case is that we will be offering the returns that crypto and Web3 products have, the features and the robustness that crypto products have, but the user experience and consumer brands that Web2 or companies like neobanks have. So simple and shiny on the outside, robust and complex on the inside. And this principle in general is the principle of embedded finance, as it's called. So what we really want to do is to make sure that we live the embedded finance principle, and that both our marketing and PR and also positioning really echoes that message of, despite having all of these incredible features and all of these really smart components of the product and the Revuto ecosystem, what you'll be seeing in marketing and PR is a very simplified, easy to understand message that will primarily convert new users and position us as a leader in the crypto space. And lastly, one of the things that I wanted to address and discuss in our marketing efforts is product-led growth. So a really big question in fintech companies in general is, how do you attract and retain a customer base? And one of the old problems has been the fact that you have to raise a bunch of money to acquire users, and then you acquire these users mostly through Facebook, Instagram, and Google ads. And as a result, because they're not a good fit, you have a really high churn. So what has been happening with companies like the neobanks that I've mentioned previously, so Revolut, Monzo, etc., is that they would spend anywhere from 20, 30, up to 40 euros per user in developed markets in order to just attract the consumer and in order for them to download an app and create a profile, so go through KYC. And that is simply not sustainable. This is why a completely new trend called product-led growth has been happening in the fintech industry. And to cut the long story short, the winner is the company that manages to attract the most users in the most cost-efficient and sustainable way. And this is where our referral program comes in. So you probably noticed that our referral program had a life cycle of its own. Initially, it was very popular. We even saw cases of people exploiting our referral program. But what the referral program did is it really served the job well of creating a wait list of 3 million users and converting a total of 305,000 users that are active users on the platform. So as a summary, what we'll continue to do in the future is that we will make a really big shift in making sure that our next phase, especially once the virtual debit cards are out, is really all about building a consumer brand, clear, simplified message that will enable us to convert and acquire users. And we'll also be thinking about different ways and techniques we can continue the product-led growth, because we don't want to be in a position where we have to pay incredible amounts of money to Facebook, Instagram, and Google only to attract users that will end up churning. So that would be all from me today. I hope you learned a bit about what is our marketing strategy, what are our promotional activities, and where do we see Revuto positioned in the long term. And I'm looking forward to giving you more updates via both TED Talks and also AMAs that you can see and track on our social media channels. Thank you.